What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the vlog. Just getting up just a moment ago. Anyways, what this vlog is going to be about, it's going to be the second vlog I told you guys I was going to put out in regards to wiring up the stereo. The first one I showed you how I use the connectors, what I did before, and how I'm doing it now, which is a lot better, a lot more safe. Right now it's just going to be a brief overview of, not a brief overview, I'm trying to go into details a little bit, but this one's just going to be primarily, everything's already wired up. I'm going to show you guys how I wired it up, the connections, how I routed it, and if I had to make any modifications. And yeah, let's get right into it. Stereo, I got factory one speaker up here, and then I don't have kick panel speakers, which I want to get, but the second one I just mounted right here. Now, the biggest thing to keep in mind, it's not even, and you hear the middle speaker very loud, and then you kind of hear the speaker at the bottom. The speaker in the middle factory was supposed to like echo off the windshield and like make a fuller sound just for the front, but the fact that I put a second one down there at the bottom, like you hear that too. And then obviously I have the two right there on that package tray that I need to fucking fix, along with this still hanging, but whatever. Cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you how I wired it, so then you guys get an idea of how to exactly wire yours and route yours. And then at that point, once you know how to wire it, you're just gonna have to find which way you want to route it and then extend the wires or shorten them up. Extending them might be a little bit more harder, especially for wires like this. You might want to just get a whole new wire, whereas if you have smaller wires like this, you can just like crimp two together, kind of like this, but to make it longer to go wherever you need it to. Cool. So I got my stereo right here. The other video I showed you guys how I mounted this, which is stupid easy. Two screws right there. I didn't use all the screws because I didn't want a bunch of holes in here. Cool. So if we get under here, all the wires obviously coming out of here. So the stereo has, this is the antenna that goes to the windshield, and then all the speakers. So you can see I have a speaker right there, which are these gray wires, and you can look up on Google how to wire speakers and they will give you, they're all color coordinated. So the ones that come out of the radio, you see these are gray, they go to like the front left speaker, and the ones that are like, or the white, the darker gray ones go to like the front right speaker, which is all this wiring harness. I still need to tuck everything up. And then obviously the back ones are going to be purple, you see right there, and then green. So the back ones I have all right here. Now this blue wire goes to the amp, and it's attached to the factory harness on here on the stereo. And then these are the RC cables that go to the amp as well. So this is what triggers the amp to turn on, this like the power wire, or like the flip switch, I would say. So once the stereo turns on, gives this power, the amp turns on. And then this is just telling the sub what kind of audio frequency, whatever you want to call it, what bass notes to hit when the song's playing. Yeah, and then we have power right here. I hooked that up to a power source, and then we have your constant, which I hooked up to the factory wiring harness, and then this gray one, which I hooked up to this orange one. I forgot what it is, but if you look at the wiring harness, or just Google how to wire up a stereo, they will have like schematics on, or not schematics, but like just a wiring diagram of what colors go to which. So I'm forgetting what this gray one was for, but it was needed obviously, so I have it there. And then I have the ground. So yeah, do a quick Google search on what wires go where, and then you can take it from there. I think I talked about how I wired it up last time. The red goes to the battery, and then the yellow goes to a constant, which this case could be an accessory. And then I showed you guys how I tapped into, forgetting the name, the fuse box. So yeah, look at the other video, you guys will see exactly how I wired that up. But yeah, so this is how I wired it up. Got speaker going up there, speaker going to this hidden one upside down right there, and then all the back wires going to this wiring harness that was super cheap on Amazon. So cool. Got this wired up. Obviously it's a there's a lot of play in it because I need to take into consideration where I want to put it, and then how it's going to lay under the carpet. And if it ends up, I want to tuck it in here somewhere, then route it perfectly along the tunnel side. So that's that. Now, the second thing we could look at is the power gauge for the amp. So the biggest thing I did, I wanted to figure out, before you start putting wires anywhere, you need to figure out where you're going to put your speakers at, and your stereo, and the sub, and the amp if you have one. So in my case, I knew I wanted the stereo right here, so I mounted the stereo, obviously. I mounted the speakers. Obviously that's the factory one. So after you have all that mounted up, and then you're going to start wiring everything. So you wire one end, and then drag the wire across, or kind of estimate how much you need, get a little bit more, that way you can cut it short, because if you're short, you're going to have to add more, and that's just more work on your part. So before I show you how I mounted or wired up the stereo or the sub, let's actually take a look at it. So here's my sub right here. I eventually want to like fix it right there, make a little wood, you know, panel right here, so it's all like hidden, all you see is the sub, and that way I could utilize all this extra room. But yeah, so the two RC wires that came from the back of the stereo, I got a bass control knob. You guys don't need that, but if you want to control the bass, that's great. Then the rest of the wires are actually underneath. So we have these two speaker wires. They go to the underside of the box because that's where the connection is for these. Pretty straightforward. Here's that blue wire that gives, here's the switch wire that gives, or that tells the amp to power on. They go straight to the stereo. The ground wire, you need to find a nearby ground. I kind of want to put it eventually on just any of this back panel area once, or the metal frame structure, whatever you guys want to call it, once I do get that panel installed. But until then, I do have it routed right here where the latch is at, so installed right there. And then obviously you got the power wire, which is right there in red. Cool. So you can see I have it routed through there. I have the red wire, or I do have the blue wire, the RCA wires, and then the switch wire, and then I have the stereo wire right there routed to the back of the, I was gonna say couch, back of the seat. And then obviously they're behind here underneath the seat, and they all come in to this wire, other than the power wire because it's too big. Put it all on the side there, and that's where they all lead, back to the stereo. Now the power wire, I kind of wanted to hide it a little bit, so what I did was I drilled a hole right here, but I also had to figure out where I could drill this hole. Going too far down, you wouldn't be able to access it because you would hit the wheel well, and too far up, it might have been hard to get your hand in there. So what I did, I drilled this hole. It's kind of perfect, and then after I drilled it, I did put some paint around the inside, that way it wouldn't rust. Hopefully it's not rusting. So yeah, once I routed that, see if I can show you guys. So it's right there. I wired this up in the black harness right there, that way you wouldn't see it as much. But yeah, you can't even really see it. It's in there. So I try to hide it as much as I can. So it's a black wiring harness, or whatever it's called, and then it's routed in there. Let's see if I can show you. There, it just lay down loosely in there. But here's the fuse box. Put double-sided tape right there. I feel like we constantly talk about with cars, you're able to fix it with zip ties and duct tape and WD-40. Well, I've been using double-sided tape a lot, and I bought it at like Lowe's. It's industrial strength double-sided tape, or whatever they call it, but it works well. Mounted it right there, and then you have to obviously cut it up and put the little end pieces that come with the wiring kit, so you can mount it inside the little fuse box that it comes with. Sorry, it's kind of hard to get in there. But yeah, double-sided tape, and then I put it right there. So I try to hide everything as much as I can, that way you don't see as many wires. Like over here, I tried to like tape it up. I still need to go through this, and then, you know, put this flush a little bit, that way it's a lot more cleaner. But yeah, that's pretty much a big overview on how to wire up your stereo. Do use the wiring garment, whatever it is. This, I keep spacing out on what it's called, but use some of this. It's gonna make it look a lot clean. And if it does come to the point where you can't hide it, let's say this is the carpet right here, you can't hide it because there's a gap somewhere. Instead of seeing all those colorful wires, you're just gonna see black, which is gonna look a lot smoother and a lot better. Like I said, if you're gonna go ahead and wire something up, I see a lot of people wiring it up through like the door, whatever, they try to go through there. I mean, ideally you can do that, but I don't know, if you open up the door, you're probably gonna see it, and less chance of you seeing it through where actually I'm wiring it. Yeah, you probably see it through there. Cool. Yeah, everyone has a different way they do things. This is how I did mine, and it's coming along well. Obviously, I'm not done with it, but once I do install the carpet and get everything situated with this car, everything's gonna be tucked up, hiding, so you're not gonna see this dangling. It's all gonna be up there. So it's gonna look clean. Obviously, this is all gonna be under the carpet, so I'm not worried about this right now. And yeah, the biggest thing to keep in mind is you don't want to run these wires together. I never experienced it myself, but having these wires close together could cause some kind of stereo interference. So you will hear like a weird staticky whining noise inside your speakers if these are together. I've done this once before, and I never heard that, but people stand by it. They say it's a thing, so might as well not go through that, especially if you spend all this time to do it. You're gonna have to do it all over again. But that's how I wired up my car, my stereo. And yeah, I think the next video I'm gonna do is how I wired up an additional fuse box to power up all my accessories. I'm gonna do another one, but once I show you guys the gist of this first one, you guys are gonna know how to do the rest of them. Cool, until next time.